All right, everyone's jumping on here. We'll get started. Again, there's some background noise. Maybe you can help me out. I'll try to mute some of these people that are background noise. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining us here. We've got another special edition of the Storage Marketing Meetup, where we do a little more of a deep dive focus, because it seems like whenever we do our meetups, it's always a common thread and thing that pops up is kind of the underlying issue is marketing. So we might as well just focus on that today. So today we're going to, again, same kind of thing. We'll go for an hour. Please put your comments in the side. We'll try to address your Q&As in there as well. Have some time. We'll go through those one by one, but please continue doing that on the side there for the chat. But otherwise, we'll get started here. Again, I do this as well because I always take my notes because I'm trying to learn right along with everybody else. I think that's kind of what we're here for, right? We're all kind of learning from each other. And there's never a right way, like you have to do it this way. It's best practices, and we all kind of have our own little flavor on how we get there and things like that. But I think with our experience and everything we've done for a number of years of storage, kind of like to think we kind of know what we're talking about, right? So that's why I had you guys jump on. I really appreciate it. Let's take a moment though before we kind of go into your thing. It's been a while. Let's do an introduction. Why not? It's only three of us, so let's just kind of do a introduction of kind of how we got into storage, what we're doing, or man,
Ladies first.
or what we're going to be doing later. You know, it's up to you.
All right, well, I'll go first.
Ladies first. Go ahead.
I'm Cori Garrod. I've been in the industry for 22 years now. I've started off working for A1 Self Storage in California. They had 14 properties, and I wound up handling their call center. This was back in 2003. Optimize, change things, try to improve the call center experience, kept getting phone calls about prices online, which were not available. And that really launched my marketing career because I kept begging for a website, and be careful what you ask for because you get put in charge of it. And that actually launched my digital marketing career. So it gives me a very unique perspective because I understand the whole customer journey, right? And how the phone calls and this call center actually kind of loop into everything. And so I did that for 17 years. And then I went to go work in prop tech for about 2 years. Decided software was interesting, but really not my space. It's a hard gig. Anybody who's doing that job, props to them because that's a lot of work. And so I did that for about 2 years, decided to go back and help operators and launched my consulting arm. So call centers and digital marketing are my areas of expertise, and I can help you also with your back end prop tech too. So it's just kind of an interesting thing. But yeah, 22 years.
Well, that's great. When you say with call centers, you mean like running a call center or consulting how to run a call center?
Yeah. So I built out, we had like 2 agents and had to like change the phone system. And, back at this was crazy, Jim. We used to have these giant books on our desk of all the information about every facility. And they would print out their price list. They would fax. Okay, this is how old I am now. I'm giving away my age. They would fax over their price sheets, and we would highlight all the different units with specials every night and put them in the books so that we had all the information for the next day.
Yeah. Okay, we're old. We could say
it. Yeah. But things have changed, and it's awesome because like call centers today and our space have changed so much, and it's just amazing to see how streamlined things have become.
Oh, we may have to do that for a future, kind of do a one just on call center best practices. That'd be a good one. So cool. All right, you're up, Jim.
Yeah, Jim Mooney Jr., VP of Operations for Freedom Storage Management. As of today, we are actually shifting our stores to another third-party company. So I'm going to be venturing into something new. Not quite sure yet what it's going to be. Asset manager, consultant, whatever. But as Cori, I've been in the industry 25, going on 26 years. I stumbled into it by accident. I was a customer looking for a unit and worked my way up through an organization, 20 plus years with them, and joined Freedom in 19. I've been here since, and it's fun. Operations is my thing I do at best. Looking at data, Jim and I talk all the time. Data is king, and data I'm going to show today is cool. But it's fun, and I love doing this because I love helping people. I love when you can see the light bulb go off in somebody's head and they get it. But Jim, what you said earlier, what works in one market might not work in another one. So I got stores that it works very well in certain markets, but certain markets, you got to tweak it all. So it's not just to set it and forget it. Hey, here it is. Put it on all your 30 stores. It's the same. You got to massage them all.
Well, that's great. Yeah, so here, I'll jump in real quick. I might as well join the crowd here. Again, Jim Ross with 3 Mile Storage Management. I've done it for, I just capped it off at 20 years, but if I add it up, I think it's probably like 25, 26
The
now.
gray hair shows, Jim.
I know, I know. I need AI to kind of give me a little thing going here.
Too
But
old.
I've done the same thing, kind of like the same path here. I was a manager for a long time. That's when I first got married. We lived on a site and saved our money like we were paying rent and just lived on location. Did that for a couple years. As things kind of go, you kind of move on. And I was moved up in the company and regional manager and did that for a long time. About a decade ago, I figured, it's time to hang my shingle up and do third-party management. But I also love doing this kind of stuff. It's a great way to kind of have a bring value back, to the community. So I've done a lot of videos and podcasts and virtual summits and writing books and all that kind of fun jazz. But this is fun. I love doing this because it's a great way to have real-time conversations. We get to see people's faces, not just kind of like a blind webinar type of thing. So hopefully you guys are getting value out of this. We'll keep them coming as long as people keep showing up. We got about
Absolutely.
50 of us right now showing up. So again, thank you guys for taking the time and doing this. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Do you care who wants to go first? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't really
I always
matter.
say ladies first, so
Okay, well, or we
There
could
you
go with,
go.
or we could go with, it was the biggest news this week, right? So I'm sure if you've been paying any attention to anything on LinkedIn this week, Google is indexing Instagram and Facebook. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just let's see. I can share my screen.
Did you like my video I made?
Yeah, I know. I put together a little slide and then I can show you where it's actually happening now. But I just wanted to give everybody like those best practices for how to optimize, because I think that's really the struggle, right? Before it was socials, as marketers, we really couldn't prove any ROI. We really like, everybody's like, well, it's good for brand recognition. I'm not getting, I can spend a lot of money, but I'm not seeing the leads there. And I think a lot of people, we just kind of, social was a side note. We kind of did it. We weren't really sure. I think, well, I know this week it changed, right? So now social is local SEO. You have to pay attention to those things. If you're not, your competitor is. So Google is now indexing public Instagram and Facebook content. And so you just want to be part of that conversation and make sure you're indexed. So my advice, looking at all of what's happening in there's a bazillion articles out there, but for my advice, make sure when you're posting, you use keyword rich descriptive captions, right? Climate controlled storage in and your city. But don't go overboard. Remember that this is for customers and people to read, not just search engines. So, keep the language very natural, but do still use your keywords. The other thing, of course, you can add those extra keywords in by using hashtags, which they told us they were dead on Instagram, and now look, they've resurrected from the dead. So we've got hashtags. So use those, research them, take a look at what your competitors are doing, optimize those as best you can using appropriate keywords and expand your reach that way. Make sure when you're posting anything, you're tagging your location. Make sure your location is there and existing, right? There's a lot of people who still don't have their Instagram place actually showing up. So just make sure you're doing that when you're adding your information in, and make sure your name, address, phone number, your NAP is consistent. And I know Jim's going to talk a little bit about citations today. So that's an important piece of the puzzle. When you are posting, there are some extra steps that you should take. There's some advanced settings. So adding the alt text to your images on Instagram is another way to optimize. Make sure that you're getting your keywords in and just getting that information available for Google to index. Not all social platforms give you the ability to alter or change your alt text. So keep that in mind when you're using those tools, that you're leveraging the feature and the tool you're using will let you do that. Always keep your Facebook posts public and shareable. Encourage engagement, because the public comments now are also going to be viewable and indexable. So those are going to show up on Google as well. And when you're posting reels and videos, include keywords in your spoken pieces of that reel or the video, because those are actually also indexable. So just make sure you're using keywords, keep it natural, but optimize those best you can. And I think one of the best things is that you can actually go back and edit your older posts to optimize your existing content. So you do have the ability to do that. That's something that if you haven't done, I would definitely recommend. And I thought I would show you, let's just go ahead and change this out. I do have an example of where something is showing up.
Good.
And so I haven't found it in storage yet. So, but I have found it in other verticals. So let me go ahead and just share this one.
And this, I'm glad you're doing that, 'cause that's key, guys. Because again, we all love storage. We're all nerds. That's why we're here for storage. But we're kind of behind the times, especially for social stuff. I mean, I've been on the top of the mountaintop on that for years, going, social's a waste of time. No one goes on social to search for storage, and I need to, rent a unit. But like you were saying, this just happened yesterday, guys. This announcement. This is fresh off the press here. So that's why I reached out to Corey. Like, we got to talk about this because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. And it's
viral,
just
and it's a good kick in the butt to, like, okay, we got to get on our social game now. So
right. And like I was saying, for the longest time, we really just couldn't prove ROI, right? And so it was like, okay, why am I doing this? It's a need-driven business. Why is this happening? Well, now we've got the onus to do it. So I did a search for best restaurants in San Diego, and you can actually see in the results under what people are saying, I've got Instagram posts here, 2 of them. I haven't seen it in our vertical, but it's starting to show up now. So as you're going through and doing searches for different things, that information is being pulled in, and you can see one's a video and one's just a normal post. So as you're kind of thinking through your optimization, make sure you're thinking about the search that would trigger this, right? So just be very mindful of your keywords, be mindful of intent. But I think you can actually help generate a lot more of the popping up if you've got the optimization to go along with it. There are a couple of operators that I think are doing a pretty good job of already optimizing. If you're following anybody, I think Sunbird Storage actually does a great job. They've got the hashtags and some other things. There's some optimization things that I would change, but there are some really good examples out there.
we gotta check that out. And it's, again, you look at storage, that's great, but again, look at other industries as well.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of those best practices. I gotta play with that. That's cool. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hadn't gotten into trigger, and I'm like, I gotta be able to get this to trigger. And so
No.
I look at restaurants because that's always a big one. And I'm a foodie anyway. So I'm like, oh yeah, totally. So yeah, it's just really interesting to kind of watch everything play out. It'll be interesting to see how it
Uh,
changes.
Go back to that real quick.
Oh yeah.
Again, I'm learning this real time too. Is that is that the AI mode in Google, or is that
No, this is under what
that's
people are
strictly Google
saying. So
results?
I'll scroll to the top so you can actually see like the whole
Yeah,
search results. So
cool.
here's the ad from OpenTable and another ad from one of our local restaurants. Of course, your local map pack, right? All the places. And then your organic results are all kind of showing up here. Eater, Reddit, of course, that's another big one. We could have a whole nother topic about Reddit. But then under what people are saying, that's where your Instagram posts are pulling in. And so it's going to be interesting to see how things change. I know Google Perspectives is also pulling in a lot of the Instagram as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I haven't seen any Facebook, it's more Instagram. So if I were to focus my energy on anything, I would focus it on Instagram and then make sure that you can, since you've got the ability to post in both places, just go ahead and do it. But I would
Yeah.
focus the energy on the Instagram posts and then just go ahead and cross post on Facebook. Make it easy on yourself.
I was gonna say, don't overthink it. Just do the same thing on both. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it makes it easy, so might as well leverage it, right?
Because who knows, tomorrow might be Facebook being
Oh,
pulled
I
in.
might. You never know.
Gosh,
Yeah, who knows what Zuck is going to decide really takes precedence there, right? But yeah.
I'm really curious. I'm to put you on the spot, but can you click on one of those? I just want to see what their portfolio
Yeah, let me take a look.
looks like.
Oh,
Because again, I can guarantee 99% of the people that are in storage have never done jack on
yeah,
Instagram. So I just want
right.
to kind of show you what.
Yeah, so this is the actual post. So it just brings you into the actual post itself.
So
So,
we hashtag San
and they've got the
Diego.
hashtag. Yep, yep. Also, it does help that they actually have San Diego in their name, but But yeah, and you can see that it's the post itself is written for humans. So it's something, it's not keyword stuffed. It's just something that's really done well. And then they go ahead and use the hashtags to help go along with it.
And you got, I mean, these are posts, and then reels are the videos,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so you've got, yeah, so the reels are the video. And that was the other one. Let's see if we can get that to come
Yeah,
up.
I wanted to show that too.
All right.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so they're going through and you can see they've got, oh, hey, that's me. Am I on that video? Her name's Cori, but that's interesting.
Oh, I was like, you really? I thought you were serious.
Yeah, no, yeah, they were talking to somebody named Cori, spelled it like me. That was weird. But anyway, so you can go see that they're actually, throwing in the captions. And so that's where you can get your keywords in, right? As you're speaking and you include the captions in your reel, you can actually get that in there too. So that's a great way to leverage the video as well.
And what do you say to people, again, I love our industry, but my God, storage can be boring sometimes. I'm like, hey, look, we rent air. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like,
Oh, well,
seriously?
the thing that resonates the most when you're kind of thinking this through, right, is a lot of people have questions about storage. So some of those tips are actually really good information, but just make them very specific. Make them really specific for your facility that you're posting about, right? If you've got the best RV storage in that area, highlight all of those things, really optimize, and then think about the questions that people ask that go along with it. And that's where you can really lean on your store managers because they know the questions that people have. And then Jim, I know one of the other things that you can definitely leverage is what people are saying about us and leverage your reviews a little bit. Like that video content that you're creating one place, you can leverage other places. And so what you're creating on the website, you can kind of leverage that too. So just really be thinking about what the customer's need is, right? How are they searching? What are they looking for? And what sets me apart from the competitor, right? What sets me apart from the store down the road? And highlight that. If it's your people, highlight your people. I mean, there's some amazing things that you can do that way.
Cori, question for you. I know Melissa Stiles at Sam does a really fantastic job with her marketing arm. She's, the queen of marketing.
Yeah.
And I know she's got some influencers I think on TikTok and stuff like that. Are
Yeah.
you going to see more influencers showing up on Instagram?
I think we're going to see a lot more Instagram influencers now. Now that they're being indexed, I think we're going to see that, right? And I think that's where the money is, right? Everybody wants to be on Google, so you're going to see some followers that way too, right? If you're able to leverage that.
Yeah, I know she's done it and she's got some real good ones. So, never looked into that for my organization, but Melissa's really cutting edge on some of that stuff she's doing, and she's got a lot of leads from them. So
He's done an amazing job with that. Yeah, it can be leveraged. But even, baby steps, right? Optimize first. Get your ducks in the row, make sure everything's done properly, make sure your citations are right, so your locations are pulling in, get that homework done, start doing those posts, and then start gaining traction by completing that outreach and try to loop in the influencers.
cool.
And for Facebook and like Instagram posts, that's what we're trying to focus on, getting the visibility here. What do you think, like once a week kind of a thing? Good enough for storage?
If you've got more content, post more content, right? So if you're creative and you can do it, I know it's difficult, but be consistent. A once a month post isn't going to do it.
No.
Once a week, you're gaining traction, right? So just kind of leverage it the best way that you can, given the resources that you've got. But don't, post once and then 6 months later post something else because you're just really not going to see the traction there. So that's something to kind of think about.
And I just, again, in real time as we're sitting here talking, guys, I just did this just to give you ideas. In fact, it's still typing right now. Again, I just typed in as it's typing away here. I just said, I'm good with my words. Whatever. I just put it in there. Don't overthink it. I want to post on social for my self-storage business. I want it like a Q&A format. Give me 20 topics for quick posts and videos to make. Okay, whatever. There you go. Here's your posts. Here's some videos you can make. Can I run a storage unit without coming in person? Cool. Answer that. security, how long's your leases? What if I lose my gate code? All this kind of stuff. Why not? This is content. And tell me if I'm wrong here, but a lot of these Q&As are getting picked up with the AI search results because
They
that's
are,
that's what
yeah. And so
yeah.
that's what we're really seeing, especially leveraging some of the schema, um, which a lot of website platforms aren't doing right now. But if you leverage your FAQ pages really well, I am actually seeing that come up in search results a lot. And Storagely has their own custom chat GPT for FAQs. Have you seen that?
Ah, what do you mean? Show me.
So if you look under like the custom the public GPTs,
Oh, okay.
under
Yeah.
self-storage, yeah, they've got an FAQ generator.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you meant it was on the website.
Yeah, no. So you can actually like take a look and see what Storagely's done for FAQs. Like, it's a great way to come up with some ideas as well.
Yeah, I mean those FAQs again, put them on your website. When you talk about schema, that's what we're talking about is kind of website content.
Yes.
I see so many that just, oh, whatever, it came with a template. It had my 5 FAQs. I'm good.
Oh,
Half the time it's wrong because they don't even look at it, the answers, but you can add so much more to that. And there you go. There's your website content. There's your social media content. There's your Google Business Profile Q&As that you can put on there. Leverage that as
yeah.
well. That's
Leverage it a lot. I just recently worked with someone to improve their FAQs, and um, within a week, we saw a huge increase in the number of queries in Google Search Console, and their FAQ page had like 128% increase in views just by optimizing.
That's crazy. And it doesn't take that long to do, frankly. I mean, just look what I just
It
did.
doesn't.
But then you've got to answer it, make sure it's
Oh,
customizable.
yes.
You, but
Yeah, make sure AI is not hallucinating and the
yeah,
information is accurate. But it is, yeah, it's something that you can leverage really, really well. And then you're able to get that content out multiple places, right? And I think that's the beauty of it. You're able to leverage that across platforms.
that's cool. And what I'm going to do, guys, because again, I like to show and tell. So I'm going to probably spend the weekend for just, especially for my current clients, in getting their Facebook. Because again, I'm guilty of it. Like I said before, I ignored social media. I'm like, that's a waste. Well, kind of kicking myself now, but when's the best time to do it now is now. So don't worry about it. Start now. I'm going to go through and get all our Facebook and Instagram sites up and running. I'll do a show and tell. I'll show everyone like, hey, here's some posts, here's some reels, just to kind of spark that imagination and yeah, just not say still, but just be like, all right, cool. Model, do it for yourself. Model, do it for your own sites because SEO, AI search, all this kind of stuff. It's changing every hour, it feels like, honestly. It's crazy. If you don't stay up on this, the bigger players for sure are, because they have dedicated teams that are doing nothing but this kind of stuff. But otherwise, your sophisticated player down the street, they're going to be doing it, and they're going to start kicking your butt. So you be the butt kicker, not the butt kicky kind of thing. So you guys get on it. If you're on this, you're already a step ahead of the game being on these kind of meetups. That's why we do this. So best practices. Okay, that's awesome. Anything else you want to touch on before we
I think
jump
that's what I
into
have
it?
on mine.
Cool. Thank you. That's fun. We kind of text back and forth and nerd out on this kind of stuff
Yeah.
because oh, it's a blast. So as we're getting this together, we'll start doing some more show and tell of not just the restaurants, but actual storage stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. All right, Jim, what you got?
Well, Jim, you and I talk all the time, and you actually asked for this one.
Yeah.
SpareFoot is that everybody loves to hate SpareFoot. Everybody loves it. It costs too much. It's not worth it. All those things. And I've been on it for years, and I maximize it to the fullest potential. So I randomly picked two of my stores out of my 33 or whatever I got now. I went into Site Link and did a deep dive. And I'm going to share my screen here.
Cool.
I dug into the source codes, right? And looking at the source codes, I have all of, you can see here for the two sources, I have by in-house and by moved out customers, right? For all of it. And the source code that goes into SiteLink from the vendors or the Go Local, the website, the call center, SpareFoot, everything like that. So currently in-house, I got 66 customers who rented from SpareFoot. Their average length of stay is 18.5 months, and they've paid us You know, their average pay is $3,000. You know, same thing, column to the right, you can see the moved out ones. 193 were in, 264 length to stay, $1,500 moved out. And then I actually did another something a little extra. Those customers in SpareFoot have paid us $493,000 in rent. Looking for the last 3 years for 2023, 24, and 25, right? I've paid SpareFoot $18,000 for that store. So if you do the math, $18,000 in spend to generate $493,000 in revenue.
It's a crazy ROI. Yeah.
Same thing with the other one, Chambersburg, a little different story, a little smaller, 99 customers, 17 months. Yeah, their moved out customers have stayed less. So you always have people move in and move out. You can never really get it right. Same thing on them. I looked at it. Those customers, people have paid us $629,000 in rent. Last 3 years, I paid SpareFoot about $38,000.
Wow. And of course, you always get the people like, well, you maybe would have got those customers anyway.
Well, and that goes to my next point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have, let me change my screen here. So an argument I always give people, I'm going to slide this one over here so you can see it. In 2024, I had 1,096 rentals from SpareFoot, paid them $140,000. My argument for you, Jim, is tell me, would I have gotten half of those rentals if I wasn't on their page? Cori, as a marketer, if they're on the page, they're there. Maybe I got some, maybe. But 1,096 rentals last year, and in 23, they got me 1,220 rentals, and I paid them $163,000. Do I like paying SpareFoot? No. However, I would much rather pay SpareFoot because it's a rental. With Google, I'm paying for clicks. The website's all I'm paying for clicks and all these other things. But if I go back and look at it, and you're looking here, so even my website, look, these are averages, right? Nazareth, in-house, 82 people from the website. You know, so they're the same thing. 109.99. So I'm getting balance. I mean, I have a good interaction with my website. They do fantastic for me. And I've actually seen more rentals from my website than I have for SpareFoot. So I'm maximizing my website potential, but I'm still using SpareFoot to its fullest potential. And, you know, I talked to Brandon. One of the things that we do well with, I get a report every month from SpareFoot. We have a 52% close ratio in April for SpareFoot leads. For 2024, my total close, I had a 56% close rate on SpareFoot leads. So the better I close my leads, the better I work my leads, I'm going to help that algorithm to get me more rentals.
And break that down for some people. I'm sure some people are on here are newer. Kind of break it down for SpareFoot. Okay, someone clicks on it, they want to rent a unit. What's that workflow?
They want to rent a unit. You go on the website, you get the click-through rate, you get the impressions. And I actually put on my screen here. Let me go back to share where I was. Apologize. I actually pulled up SpareFoot in one of my markets, okay? I just did a search for my store. Here's top of the list is CubeSmart. They're paying for it. Citizen Storage here. One review, e-rental, right? Here's one of my stores. 33 reviews. I got the e-rental. I got contactless rentals. So when people click on this one and generate a lead for me, goes right in the site link or any whatever software you're using, the faster you can get back to that person to complete that rental. Jim, you know, what's the average lead time right now on follow-up? I mean, I'm shooting for less than 30 minutes, and that's long for me. I'd love 15, but realistically, I know sometimes I can't. But by reaching back out to the customer, sending the customer to use the rental completion link that they can click on the link and complete the rental, by capturing them, you're getting more transactions. And the better you do on your impressions, your click-through rate, and your close rates, it helps your algorithm. So you necessarily don't have to pay as much on your bid rate. That's all part of that big algorithm. That's a big mystery. It changes all the time. But knowing what it is and knowing how to work it, and we don't treat a SpareFoot lead any differently than we treat a website rental, one from the call center. Every lead gets treated equally. So they're all going to get worked to their fullest potential every time. But by being able to, you know, check your closing percentages per channel, whether it's SpareFoot, whether it's a website rental, whether it's a website quote, whether it's just a call center. I mean, if you look at back at that data, I can tell you at every rental, I know where they came from. So it's important to know your closing percentages, and it's a tool. I mean, for a marketer like Cori, it's a tool in your toolbox that you use it. I'm not saying SpareFoot's the end all be all, but it's a tool that I use every day that work in conjunction with my call center, work in conjunction with my website team, work in conjunction with the people walking in the front door. And we're to the point now when we reconcile SpareFoot, if we had it first, and we do get duplicate leads because they went here, they went there, the first one in my door gets is we will dispute rentals with SpareFoot because we had it first. But everybody loves to hate them. But Cori, when I tell you my average cost for rental across my portfolio last year was $133, what do you say?
I mean, that's an amazing ROI. Think about it. I mean, it's another tool in your toolbox. If you leverage it well, it can be an absolutely great way to leverage something. And it's one of those levers that you can turn on and turn off, right? And so you've got a lot of flexibility there. And so that's something, right? As long as you're paying attention to the numbers and really diving in, it's where looking at things by the channel is huge. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. You know, if they're not paying close attention to that, it can be very challenging.
Right. And even like you said, turn them on off. I can tell you right now, SpareFoot's on in my stores across every store. I don't turn them off because I know throughout the years working with them, is if I'm putting units on and off, it affects the algorithm as well. I mean, if I don't have a unit available, it's not going to show there anyway, so it's not going to hurt me. But I'd rather have them all toggled on and let the chips fall where they may. But I know, and by working with my website team, I did some work with my Go Local team, and we went back and looked. And if you don't have a good website team working with you, and that's part of the problem, I can tell you, if I went back and I had it right here, hold on. I'm looking at my rentals. They pop up here. Hold on. So I always, Jim, I'm a data geek, right? I look at everything hands down. Back in 2021, I had 905 SpareFoot rentals versus 665 on the website out of 3,000. Well, fast forward to currently this year through June, I've had 1,600 rentals. I've had 415 SpareFoot rentals, but I've had 730 website rentals. So I'm using it as a tool, but I'm not relying on it for everything.
And I think that's an excellent point, right? You want to be able to optimize across channels, right? Not one team or one channel should be working in a silo. So definitely have a good website person and a website team who's really focused on your local SEO and your organic SEO and those channels as well. And then you can look at those paid channels, but all of those teams should not be working in a silo. And I think that's where a lot of people get into trouble. Just making sure that there's visibility across the board and everybody's working towards the same goal is huge. And I've seen like just so many people, they'll have like their marketing doing this pay-per-click campaign, and then they've got somebody else doing SEO, and the efforts are not coordinated at all. And that can be really, really challenging. But if you're working with a good provider, it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. So like I said, Cori, right now, 1,600 rentals year to date through June, 44.5% have come from my website, whether it's a rental, reservation, quote, phone call. 25% have come from SpareFoot. So almost 70% of my rentals have come digitally from either SpareFoot or my website, which is where we need to be. But by managing it and knowing my data and knowing the S source code, and it's funny, when I consult all over, I've done them coast to coast. I'm actually consulting now in Hawaii. When I talk S source code to people who have SiteLink, they have no idea what I'm talking about. And when I talk about the website team putting it in by category, so if I go back and look at just at these stores, I can tell you that of the in-house rentals, how many came from a GLI rental, which is my website rental? How many came from a reservation? How many came from the SpareFoot, the phone number? I know that I can break down not only by website, but by channel on the website. And that's huge.
Huge.
But if you're not working with your website team to make sure that they're integrating into your software correctly, so you can dive down that deeply. I just had a conversation with a client who only has rentals on their website. They don't have reservations or quotes. And I'm like, you're missing a good portion. No, people are going to rent. I said, not everybody's going to rent. You're going to have people that are going to click that reservation button to make a lead because they don't know what they want. And if you don't have that option for them, they're going to go somewhere else.
I'm guilty of that. I'll only have rental on all the websites, like it's rent or whatever. I don't do the reservation, so maybe I should play with that. Go back and show show your screen again. Show the SpareFoot pages.
Yeah, which one? Hold on.
The one that had the different locations. The actual SpareFoot page.
Yeah, hold on. But I got too many open here. Hold on.
I say you're in 10 screens.
Well, here. Yep. Oh, hold on. There we go. This one?
The actual SpareFoot page, where I had the different listings. Had
yours. Okay.
Citizen,
yep.
That one.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Just from the customer perspective. I always want to put myself in the customer's shoes. Go and click on that one. I was just curious. So obviously, when you're going through it, just speak on optimization. Frankly, your photos. I see that a lot for people who are doing the listings. They don't have enough photos on there. Frankly, to me, it's just like your website. It's like a Google Business Profile. Same thing. Have a lot of photos.
Good quality photos, please.
Quality, yeah.
Reviews. I mean, reviews here. I mean, 24 5-star reviews. 7.4. I mean, it's good data.
Yep. So you got that.
And I've always said, and Cori, you can correct me if I'm wrong because you're the marketing guru, but I want the same pictures on my website that I want on SpareFoot. So if you're on one page and go, you see the same thing.
Yes. Yeah. And it actually represents your facility. So when they get there, they know what they're looking at, right? And so just make sure that it truly represents the experience at your store and be consistent across all of the platforms, right? Your Google My Business, your Google Business Profile, all of those things, they need to be cohesive.
Yeah, so it just goes back to being optimized on this, your description, same thing.
Exactly. It's the same thing. Be as complete as possible. Don't do it as a shell, right? If you're paying to use the tool, leverage it to the best that you can and optimize it as well as you can.
I wish I'd let
prime example. This one here, it's got 2 pictures and they're both of the office.
Yeah. Great.
It's a nice office though.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where SpareFoot is one of those things, Jim, that I've always been a proponent of it. And I've been told before, because we work it as well as we do, and we have one of the highest closing percentages in the country across the platforms, because we're doing what we're doing right, it benefits us. And when you look at,
do you attribute a lot of that to the follow-up, frankly?
I do.
I
do. The managers in my hubs, I mean, they know we're on this thing, and it goes back to, we talk about it all the time. Jim, I mystery shop my managers all the time. And if they get a mystery shop and they don't log it into software and follow up with it, it's an automatic 0. So these guys know we're on it every day, looking at leads to see how fast they're following up on. I had to cover a store 2 days this week with 2 of the girls because I had people on vacation. We're doing leads, and I'm, hey guys, this one didn't get followed up. Oh, well, we got, no. Got to make sure clear notes, making sure we're using the tools in the software to do the rental completion link. I talked to Brandon McBride this morning. I mean, that rental completion link, 90% of my rentals are digital because we're remote, but by using that link, I can have somebody that says, hey, I want to come in Saturday at 5 o'clock. Hey, we're not here. And actually, I just had it on Monday. A guy wanted to rent a unit on Sunday. I said, we're not here, but here, let me send you this link right now. And they just click the link and rent it right then and there.
So if we had to summarize it, your SpareFoot page photos, obviously. How many can you do on there? Is it 10? I know there's a limit.
I think it's 10 or 15.
Okay. So,
and make sure you have a good homepage picture. Make sure your default picture here.
Yeah, go back to that.
Like mine, it's an overhead shot of the picture. It's an overhead shot of the property. So you see the signs, you see the buildings.
Share your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You should be.
I apologize. It's Friday. And you got me last minute guard here. So yeah, I mean, this is my first picture, right? Sign, property, all that. And then you go through and you got good quality overhead picture. I mean, if you're not doing drone footage, I highly recommend. I know Josh, I don't think Josh Huff is on here, but he does a great job with his drone footage. Pictures of the units, the wide aisles, make it inviting for somebody.
Yep. And then featured amenities, obviously, and they just have like the checklist. So make sure all those are
Yeah.
checked out as much as possible.
But contactless and rent online, these banners are important these days.
Yeah.
People want them. And then your reviews, make sure you got good reviews. I mean, I know everybody focuses on Google reviews, and we all do, but you need to have good reviews on SpareFoot as well.
So what do you average? If you don't mind me asking, what are you averaging as far as bid rate goes?
1.75.
Holy crap. I thought 200 was
But
the minimum.
I've been grandfathered in,
You
but
get a discount?
I also do a really good job, and they know they're going to get the rentals from me.
Yep.
He did 50 on 2024, 56% close rate on SpareFoot leads.
That's fantastic. Okay. Yeah. So you're using the platform, you're doing them a favor. Maybe you can adjust the bid rate a little bit. So that's still the number one pushback, frankly, is the bid rate. But again, if you know what your ROI,
Jim, when you
is,
look
we're
at
showing
your,
the ROI numbers. Go ahead.
right, but when you look at the ROI, that's exactly my point. When you look at the ROI numbers, and you're spent in 3 years, I spent $18,000, and they, now again, people have been there longer than 3 years, so there's going to be a little curve in that, but $493,000 in payments.
I'll take that all day long. Want to be mindful of time. We got about 15 more minutes, guys. I do want to look at the chat. Maybe you can help me out, see if we missed some comments here. So we might bleed through a little bit what we talked about earlier. Katie, if you have multiple facilities under one brand, should you have a social page for each facility or just the brand as a whole? That's for you, Cori.
Page. I would say each page, Cori, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know it's a little more work, but it's really worth it because then you can optimize specifically for that location and just really think local.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, this goes back to the whole point we're talking about here. It's a local search.
Yeah.
Right. Brand name, but when you can say storage in XYZ facility,
Yep.
That's key. It's not about, we can have a little of a conversation about brand versus all that kind of stuff later, but in this case, when we're talking about specifically storage in your city, that's the key, is the local search results. So yeah, each page each facility have its own profile, its own page. I think that's
Jim, I saw Sherry Miller on here. I know she's not with him anymore, but Sherry, when you look at a store and you have a 27% average length of stay for a call center lead, does that make your heart smile? Is she still on here?
yeah, they may all be muted though.
Sorry, I was actually on a call. Repeat the question, please.
If you see a facility that has a 27-month average length of stay for a call center lead, does that make you smile?
100%. Yeah.
One store's 27 months, one store's 20 months. So
That's
the value of a call center
amazing.
is...
We'd be happy with 12. 14's amazing. That's insane.
Yeah.
For sure.
Perfect.
Dang, that's good like to stay. Brings the average up a little, doesn't it?
That's great. Who else we got here? Josh. Oh, first time in the meeting. Oh, hey, Josh. No, normally next time we'll do like when we have more of the meetup, it's a little more back and forth. You can introduce yourself, kind of a thing. But I'm glad you're on here, Josh. First time meeting. Been managing a small facility. Okay, if you're managing a small facility and doing, this is for you. That's why we do this kind of stuff. Should we go back? Oh, let me try to do the announcement real quick. I'll do the 3-mile domination thing, and then we can do a little any more Q&As for the last few minutes.
Yeah.
Why not? I'll do a quick little shameless plug here for a few minutes. Anyway, we always talk about, again, this is marketing, but it always comes up about Google Business Profile optimizations and doing the citations and obviously reviews. Now we're doing the social stuff as well. So I put this together. In fact, let me put the link in chat here. I'll share our screen first. So anyway, 3miledomination.com. You know me, I'm the 3-mile guy. So put this together. I've done this forever, but might as well actually package it and use it as a service now. won't go on forever. You can go to the website and check it out. But everything we've talked about, I'm trying to put it together in a package for everyone. So it's Google Business Profile optimizations, citation management, doing the reviews. Got my buddy Storage Reach working with us on this. And
You're welcome, by the way. I introduced you.
you're welcome. Thank you. That's what this is all about. It's always about connections. That's
It
why we
is. It really is.
that's why we do this. I do AI video testimonials on these as well. And then, of course, brand new as of like 12 hours ago, doing the Instagram and the social SEO, kind of exactly what we're talking about here. So I'm not going to go through all this, but you can go through this in your own time. Check this out. I go in more detail on everything, what it is all about. It's a lot of fun. But it's one of those things where, oh my gosh, we've talked about this for a long time, so I figured might as well actually put something out there for everybody. So I only got so much time in the day, so I do basically if you press the button, it's going to bring you to a Calendly page. I'm going to do 2 a day doing these kind of evaluations. We'll go through, we'll do like a heat map of your market, see exactly what's working, what's not working for your specific site. And again, a lot of the stuff is you can do this yourself. I mean, honestly, you can if you have the time and dedication, you can do it yourself. Or if you want help, cool. Now we got the service to help you out as well. And again, other things that come up, website stuff, cool. I know who to who to reach out to help you out with that kind of stuff as well. So it's just another way of having something else out there for people to help market yourself and get the phone to ring in this market. And it's, for your 3 mile market, it's a lot of focus that you got to do. So we're just trying to put the tools and the services together in one package. So check that out. Let me know what you think. Also, here in the chat, if you don't mind, I want to try to do this at least once a month. Maybe we'll sprinkle in a few extra ones doing these marketing things. Any other topics specifically that you guys want to kind of dedicate and have some more focus and go in more detail, please email me, put it in chat, let me know. Hope you guys got some value out of this and be able to kind of go a little more focused, a little more detail on these kind of things. Got 10 more minutes. I'm gonna take us off spotlight and open it up. So why not? Go
Jim, I
ahead.
do want to throw it out real quick. If
Yeah.
anybody who's using SiteLink does not understand what I was talking about with the source codes in that one screen I was showing, we're breaking out by the codes. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you're interested in finding out how to do it yourself, ping me, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to, give you a little tutorial on where it's at. But the quality of that data for Cori, Cori, if as marketer, I went back to you and said, "Hey, Cori, this is what I'm getting out of my database." You're like, "Oh my God, I can do this." What would you do with the data?
Oh my gosh, that's an amazing thing to be able to get that data. You've got to be able to break things down by channel, and that way you can focus your energy on the channels that are performing the best, or look at it and improve those channels that need help, right? And it's just huge to be able to have that, right? And we've gone through sessions before where we talk about, do I have a lead problem or do I have a follow-up problem? I mean, that gives you tools to evaluate what the heck is happening. You've got so much more visibility when you're looking at that kind of data set.
Cool. Anybody? Again, we're gonna open it up. Got 10 minutes here, so we got 50 of us. Someone's got some questions, comments, anything got going on specific about marketing? Anything, doesn't matter. Go ahead and jump on. Or just be silent. That's fine too.
They're all overwhelmed.
Yeah. Anybody got anything? No, we can wrap this up.
I put a quote in the chat.
Yeah.
When selling commodities, market dreams instead of features. It was a quote that that Abercrombie and Fitch used to sell $75 t-shirts when the Gap was selling them for 20. They marketed the dreams and the features of the t-shirts. So we've been doing that a lot, where instead of talking about that we have a 10 by 20 available, we talk about what can the homeowner use the spare bedroom for, or what can they use for parking their car in their own garage. So we're talking about the dreams of that clear space versus the fact that we have a 10 by 20 available. And it's really working because of the fact that we're using it with Google Business Posts. We're using it a lot. Just when we talk to people about how are you going to use the free space, are you going to start an Etsy business? Are you going to have a spare bedroom that's now ready for guests versus boxes? So really talking about how they're going to utilize the free space that they're going to have when they run a storage unit.
And those are very powerful visuals, right, Brian? I mean,
Oh,
that makes it really easy for people to actually see what they can do, and that's a great way to leverage on social.
And you just said that. You said you're doing that on your Google Business profile updates and posts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
there you go.
we put a picture of a client's craft room because the client gave us a picture of their craft room. So we put that on there instead of putting the picture of a loaded 10 by 10.
Gotcha. Craft room. I had to think.
Well, you know, some people might argue.
Hey, it's craft rooms. Craft rooms
I
are
don't know.
important.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I've
Exactly.
got too many locks off storage units, and then I'm like, why are people storing that? So that's the first thing I thought of.
Right. But I mean, as far as content tips go, Greg, I mean, you know, just really think about what you offer and what your customers are looking for. Brian's suggestions are awesome. I think that's a great way to look at it. And, you know, just again, customer pain points. How am I going to help you fix that problem? And if you think of it with that mindset, you actually come up with a lot of content ideas, right? And so that's really a great opportunity to do so. And, you know, Jim's visualization, just using ChatGPT to talk about questions and answers, that also gives you a great starting point, and you can just really dive into that. And then, you know, the other thing that I really like to do is I've got a great ChatGPT prompt to do competitor analysis. And that is actually super helpful because it will give you ideas on how to differentiate yourself from your competitors. So if you want that ChatGPT prompt, I can get it to you as well. I think it's a good way to you know, how am I going to set myself apart from my competitors and have that mindset and focus on those things. And it can be very powerful.
That's great. Mary, got your hand up?
Yes, I am. One of the things that I did following what the other fellow was saying that he did, based on what Cori has said and what you have said, Jim, is that I took a still picture and a short video of the same thing, and then went into Perplexity, ChatGPT, and Google's Gemini, and wrote little articles, and then I took the same article and tweaked it toward my facility, did the video for the short video, put that on Google My Business and on Facebook. The still picture, I put that in as a blog, and then I took the summary of each of that to put that in 3 different places. Something I did before I started is that I did a search for my facility on those 3 different platforms to see where I came up, and I did not come up. And then adding that, then I started coming up to where I could be found. What made me decide to do this primarily or partly is that I had a tenant, and as Jim has said, I was in a conversation I've had with Jim Ross, when where I'm located right near near an airport, so we do offer parking storage. And I had a person contact me about wanting to go to a parking place, a self-storage to park his car, which is in the middle of the town where all the homeless people are at. And he was kind of arrogant. And so I just said, fine, you can park your car there. It's out in the open. The people that walk by there are homeless people going from one side of town to the other side of town. Take your luck. Or you can store at our location. We're closest to it. And this is the things that we can offer. He called me back about 3 days later, and he rented from us, paid a year up front. But when I did my search, I knew that that's where he'd gotten his search for locations, because that storage facility came up #1 in the search. So using I feel that, and Cori, you could correct me if I'm wrong, using the AI to do your search and having AI help you with your facility name will help give AI to help you bring you out, plus pulling the information from the index from your post. I think that's a question, but I think that's also a statement. I'm
You
done
wanna-
talking.
Okay, Cori?
Well, I think there's just so much to do. There's some new research coming out about getting yourself listed. I just saw the article about getting into ChatGPT and others using Mapbox, and I've got the information on that. Mary, if you want it, I can pull that up and get you the information, because there's
Okay.
there's some things that can be done, and we're all doing the research and the homework. I think there's some things that we can do to work through that, and that's one of the big ones. I think that was a big new finding that I saw yesterday afternoon.
Well, I just gotta say, Mary, holy crap.
Good job, right?
Golf clap for you. You've done amazing doing that kind of stuff. So I know we talked a few weeks ago and you're a little more detailed on what you've been doing, but you've embraced it and you're actually using it and getting results. So that's amazing. Good for you. And this is again, this kind of stuff with AI stuff specifically, this is ongoing. So this will be a common thread. We'll bring up some best practices, what's working, we'll do more show and tells, all that kind of stuff. Might as well, we got 1 minute left, but I need to do my screenshot selfie. Everyone that's on, if you don't mind. If you're on, turn your camera on. You gotta say hi, cheese. We're gonna do hey cuz, just turned your camera on. It's the first time I saw you. What's up, Alana? All right, we're gonna do a selfie on the count of 3. All right, we all good? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Well, perfect. Well, good. I'm going to be mindful of everyone's time. That's been an hour. Time always flies. We'll do this again next Friday. Be more of the format of the meetup where, hey, everything goes back and forth for everybody. And then we'll do another marketing meetup probably in a month from now. So hope you guys are getting value out of this. Any feedback is always appreciated. Other than that, thanks so much for taking the hour of your day and being here, and have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you.
Take care. See ya.